Hey all, welcome back to some more Lovingly Evil. I'm Agent Mischief, and we're gonna get going back where we left off on trying to smooch our good friend Felix the Vampire. Talk about villainous background music is about to start. You see Felix sitting in one of the chairs. Greetings, Kakarna. Lovely to see you here. Is this the lecture you wanted to see? Yes, indeed. You sit down next to Felix. Oh my god, I didn't realize he was coming to this one too. I did so good. My man's is here. There are many ways to ensure dramatic background music for your villainous victory, some more stylish than others. I am Professor Jasper in Lightunes, and in this lecture I will go over some of the most popular choices and some tips on how to make sure your dramatic moment will be as impressive as possible. The easiest route would be to bring along your own sound system, but this should be your last option as it can easily appear self-indulgent and somewhat pathetic. Classic that is always in style is hijacking someone else's sound system, preferably that of the government. This way you're not only providing the right mood, but also showing off your capabilities. On the other hand, a live band has the advantage of being able to adapt to the situation. This comes with its own set of considerations. Do not, I repeat, do not rely on your minions to provide your mood-setting melodies unless they are truly talented musicians. Many villain has faced humiliation when the dramatic reveal was ruined by underlings' incompetence. After the break, we'll discuss the pros and cons of hiring professional musicians. Looking forward to seeing you for part 2 of the lecture. I wonder if you should return for part 2. I'm gonna say yes, because I think he'll probably still be there if he enjoyed it. See Felix sitting on one of the chairs. Karna, the lecture is about to continue. Come sit here quickly. You sit down next to Felix. Before the break, we discussed different methods of providing an impressive soundtrack for your villainous victories. Next, we'll go deeper into the pros and cons of hiring a professional band. Hiring professional musicians is a good option, but it includes some challenges. It is extremely important to make sure they will try to spin any situation in your favor. If things are slipping out of your control, the band starts playing jaunty or victorious tunes, it can be the final nail in the coffin for your plans. Another thing to consider is how to get the band into the location the showdown will occur. The easiest route, having them simply follow you around, is once again kind of lame. I would suggest arranging for your band to be already performing at the location ahead of time, so they can organically switch to supporting your appearance. It takes some time to consider how much more impressive some of your victories would have been had the dramatic music been playing outside of your head as well. Decide that your next major act of villainy will have the soundtrack it deserves. Fuck yes. The convention center is about to close for the day, but the night is young. Time to head out to the nightclub. Felix. You walk into the nightclub, you immediately spot Felix in the corner. He's pretending to be drinking from a glass of what looks like Bloody Mary. His face lights up when he sees you, which, because it's Felix, translates only to a barely noticeable smirk. Kakarna, I've been waiting your arrival. Hello there, how so? I've been pondering upon the question of dancing. I've come to the conclusion that learning how to dance in a more youthful fashion would greatly improve my credibility in the goth clubs, and therefore making my hunting experiments even more fruitful. Sounds like a good strategy if you're looking for some business advice from me. Oh nay, I was hoping you could teach me how to dance like a youngster. Yes, I'll show you some sick moves. Sick? I would much rather learn some healthy dances for now. I need to appear to have more vitality when I venture out. Perhaps you misunderstood the purpose of my request. Relax, it's just a phrase. I'll teach you the healthiest moves. Phew, much obliged. Spend the rest of the night teaching Felix how to dance like someone from the 21st century. To be fair, you have no idea how to teach someone dancing. You end up instructing him to move his body randomly, following a vague rhythm, swinging his limbs around a lot. It seems to be what most others do on the dance floor anyways. Hours pass. Felix looks very focused on practicing his new skill. He flaps his arms around rapidly. He looks a little like the injured bat you once saw on the primary school field trip. What if it was him? During the break, Felix leaves in order to whisper in your ear. I figured it out. Dancing these days is just imitating the rapid convulsions of someone whose body is being sucked of its blood. You spend the rest of the evening with Felix, watching the dancing masses and chatting. Third day. Let's save real quick. Third day of the conference begins. Reception hall seems to be empty. Everyone must be enjoying the conference instead of hanging out in the lobby. Walk around aimlessly. Find yourself swinging by Felix's firestand yet again. You haven't seen him in a while. Where could he be? It's not like he's sleeping in. Go to the table and notice something written on a piece of cardboard. The note says Evil Day. You admire the old-fashioned handwriting, of course. It's not like he would send just a plain old text. You feel like you have an idea where he went. You walk outside the conference hall and don't see a living soul. You can't spot any undead souls either. Hello there. His voice seems to appear out of nowhere. Huh? Up here. You glance up and see Felix's feet dangling from the rooftop of the trash building. Well, evil morning to you too. How did you get up there? My memory serves me correctly. You should be well aware of the fact that I am a vampire. Oh, right, sorry, I didn't sleep much last night. Forgive my stupid questions. The real pending question is, would you like to join me up here? Felix holds out his hand, encouraging you to grab it and climb over. It'd be easier if you turned into bat and flew down here to get me. Perhaps next time. You grab his hand and he pulls you up. Notice how cold his hand is, and how nice it feels in spite of that. How so? Well, come on, you're hanging out alone in a rather unexpected spot. Yet you knew where to find me. Lucky guess. I'm rather fine, perhaps a tad reflective, that is all. You've been asking a lot of questions these past few days. Oops. How about you? Why does sleep evade you? I had a weird dream. Scratch your head to cover up your embarrassment. It doesn't work. And you were in it too. Oh, I certainly hope I had not done anything terrible. You're at the graveyard. Felix smiles with delight. I like where this is going. It was an unbearably sunny day, and we complained about it the whole time. Oh, how I despise sunny days. You're holding a red flower. I think it was a red rose. How corny of me. We decided to hide under a tree, and then what? Somebody started chasing us, and we forgot how to run. It turned out that we were late for school, and neither of us were wearing pants. Or perhaps the tree fell down on us and killed you. Oh my own god, relax, we just kissed, that's all. Felix looks pale. Well, he always does, but this time it might be because of your confession. Before you can embarrass yourself any further, someone interrupts your conversation.
Hey, you weirdos.
Hey, you weirdos. Daria appears out of nowhere and lands right between you and Felix. What are you doing here? Nothing. Daria looks at you with suspicion.
Okay, quick vibe check.
Okay, quick vibe check. What's going on here? You both look like you've seen a ghost. And I don't mean the praying baroness. I just saw her like maybe 20 minutes ago. Honestly, that poor woman is totally lost. Just wandering around the conference, marveling to herself, I asked if she was okay. She was like, I've got so much unfinished business. So I was like, lady, that's called being an entrepreneur now. Didn't seem to calm her down. Anyway, I forgot what we were talking about. Whew, you're grateful for Daria's blabbering and chance to change the subject. Do you two live together? I've never met a vampire family before. Felix snorts. We do not. We've tried that once with rather unsatisfying results. Are you still salty about the time I smashed all the windows in your building? I told you it was an accident. I'm still working on my flying license. I'm much better now. Like, did you see how I landed here on this rooftop? She's just so cute. Look at her. It was flawless. It was quite good indeed. Plus, our lifestyles are like so different. I live in a polyamorous queer commune with 5 other vampires, and he's such a hermit. Daria gives Felix a playful nudge. I simply enjoy my space. Well, yeah, I can tell. We're the biggest villain conference with, like, the coolest creatures from all over the place, and my brother is casually vibing on the rooftop of the trash building. Which reminds me why I even materialized here in the first place. Huh? You need to be back at your booth, like, right now, or, like, 20 minutes ago. There's a huge line.
Around.
See ya! Daria disappears, leaving only a faint smell of sweet perfume and teenage angst. Oh, precious. Best background character. You and Felix walk back to the conference center in pleasant silence. You've had a busy day today, haven't you?
Indeed.
So many floral requests. The conference villains have certainly kept me busy. I've hardly had any time to go through my daily existential crisis yet. Mood, sir. And that's a good thing.
Perhaps.
There is something I've been meaning to ask you, though. Yeah? You just know it's about the dream you had. It is about the dream you had. Well done. You freaked him out. I just need to clarify something. I cannot get it out of my head. I hope you understand. Just ask already. The tree. What kind of tree was it? What? If I recall correctly, you mentioned we hid under a tree. I have just been wondering, was it a pine or cypress by any chance? I don't know. It was just a tree? A green tree? What does it matter? I have no idea what's going on, but at least Felix seems focused on the botanical aspect of your dream instead of the smooching one. Pine and cypress are believed to symbolize sadness and death in certain cultures. Oh well, I'm sure it was neither pine nor cypress, since I couldn't even tell them apart from other trees. Felix sighs a sigh of relief. You notice the bucket of red roses needs to be refilled again. They seem to be in high demand. You start pondering upon their flower language meaning. Do you believe in what they call true love? During my very long life, I have encountered so many different definitions of that. What precisely do you mean? You know, do you think it's possible to find the one? Someone who's just right for you? Someone who fulfills your every need and desire, and is magically able to guess them all. It seems like an impossible job, not to mention the recruitment process. So to answer your question, I highly doubt it's possible to find someone like that. More importantly, I would not consider that to be beneficial in the long run, although I do believe in love. I believe a lot of it is about choice, much rather than a magical chance encounter. What about you, Kakarna? Do you believe in love? Yes, I love love. I love the feeling of being in love. I've not felt that in a while. Hypothetically speaking, if you are enamored by someone, what are the usual telltale signs of that? I make up excuses to see them. For example, I show up at their workplace a lot without any apparent reason. You lean on the counter and maintain eye contact with Felix for what could be considered an uncomfortable amount of seconds. You'd think that would make the light bulb above his head light up with enlightenment. It doesn't. Speaking of true love, there is something I need to do. Yeah? He's about to confess something to you? Ooh, I'm gonna save. Continue, sir. Wait in anticipation, observing Felix as he disappears into the stand's hidden back room. When he emerges, a whiff of freshly cut red roses reaches your nostrils. Stand is stalked again, ready for the upcoming expressions of undying love. So do you hang out with other vampires a lot? Phew. You think just because I'm a vampire, I only spend time with other vampires?
Oh.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, it's not that easy to find a non-vampire that truly understands my lifestyle. But spending time with vampires can also get quite dull sometimes. Especially since we cannot use the moral excuse of leaving because we have to go to sleep. So vampire get-together might well stretch throughout the 4 seasons. It sounds like that would be a pretty good cure for the looming sense of eternal loneliness we talked about before. I said that weird. I'm sorry, think flesh. You could say so, but to be honest, I've never seemed to feel like I belong in the vampire community. I seem to truly feel like I belong in the vampire community. There's always something missing. Only ever met one vampire before you. Ugh.
Huh?
Your facial expression tells me it was not the most pleasant experience of your lifetime. Yeah, and they were an absolute jerk. It had nothing to do with them being a vampire, though. Back then, I was playing with the idea of turning into one myself. I had high hopes about them being the one to help me with that. Felix lights up. Would that be something you could see yourself pondering upon again? Yeah, definitely. The more we talk, the more tempting it feels. That might not be the only thing you feel tempted by. Don't get me wrong, I do love my current line of work. Maybe I could still do my duties part-time. Whatever the case may be, please do let me know if you have any vampire-related questions. Hey, quick question. I've been wondering, it must be possible to kill a vampire. How does one do that? Well, that was smooth. Maybe this gives you a confused look. Should I be worried? I guess I'm a bit worried about you. I can imagine you must have a fair share of enemies being a vampire and an evil bouquet artist. Maybe there's even a way in which I can protect you. Felix smiles a smile that would normally be accompanied by a blush. And they say chivalry is dead. Speaking of the dead, it used to be much easier to kill us in the old days. I'm confident you've heard of using wooden or silver stake. Amateurs. There are easy precautions we are taught to take. For instance, I never keep silver cutlery at home. I use plastic. Additional advantage, it hurts the environment even more. I see. So what would pose a threat to you now? Would holding up a Bible work? Felix smirks. It would surely repulse me. I do not feel too enthusiastic about its literary value, but I would not necessarily call it life-threatening. To be honest, I do not have an answer to your question. Even vampires don't know how to kill vampires anymore?
Precisely.
Precisely. I suppose I'm bound to be here forever. I need to get going. Farewell. Beacon is now halfway through. Now it's a good time to start creating deeper connections if you haven't already. It's a great idea to talk to many people, but you only have 2 days left to make sure you're putting effort in the relationships that matter to you most. I don't want to go to the death thing, but... Anyone interesting? Hello. Who are you? What's your name? It's right here in my name tag. Take a look at the tag. It says Angel written in shaky handwriting. Angel? Because you're dead? Because that's what my parents named me. So what do you do? Run errands mostly. It's dreadful. No, I mean it's your job. I help run the conference. Give out badges. Make sure the talks are running on time, etc., etc. Oh, and I answer a lot of stupid questions. What do you do when you're not working the conference? I'm on the shelf. Sorry? They put me in a jar to wait for the next conference. The jar is on a shelf. That sounds kind of nice. It is. Very relaxing. Bye. They were weird. It's kind of fun though. Shoot, where should we go now? I want to know what that is up there, but I don't know how we'll get there. Let's do a conference. Curiously, no information about the contents of this lecture was printed in any of the brochures or posters for the conference. At the door, everyone is required to sign a document stating that they consent to anything that might occur during the lecture. When you peek into the room, you see Felix sitting in one of the chairs. I thought maybe he might be here, so that is partially why I showed up. Fascinated, you signed the form without any questions. Hukarna, this is one of my favorite parts of the conference. You sit down next to Felix. Lights of the lecture hall go out and a red spotlight floods the stage. 2 figures in black robes glide into the light. One is holding a large brass bell, the other takes its place next to a giant gong. They start chanting with no amplification. You strain your ears to hear the words of an eldritch language. At the end of one sentence, one of the figures rings the bell. At the end of the other sentence, the other hits the gong. At each repetition, the sound gets louder and your mind grows foggier, till all your awareness is filled with the roar of the chant. The ringing of the bell and gong is unbearably loud, the vibrations nearly tearing your mind to shreds. And suddenly all is silent. You melt into your seat, shocked and exhausted. After a few minutes, several people start with thunderous applause, but many like you seem incapable of moving a muscle. The figures glide off the stage, showing no interest in the audience reception of their show. A young man sitting next to you keeps muttering the chant under his breath, eyes staring into nothing. After what feels like an eternity, you manage to peel your flaccid body off the seat and leave the hall. You are filled with questions and a strange emptiness. What a magnificent show! Anything new?
Hello.
I'll just leave for now. Nothing else to do. Don't see anyone fun. Hello. Bye. Go to a cafe. We'll do this. Talk about being a friendly boss is about to start. Satan walks to the front of the room with a confident stride. But before this conference, you never imagined you'd be hearing a lecture from the devil himself. Hey everyone, I'm Satan, though you probably knew that already. Today, I'm going to offer some alternatives to the classic rule of terror managerial style. The crowd murmurs somewhat disapprovingly. I know, friendliness is not the most conventional strategy for us villains, but I assure you, it has many benefits. According to studies, minions who are treated with respect are about 14% less likely to betray you. They may also become more independent, which can be a plus or minus depending on your preferences. If a minion makes a mistake, they're more likely to report it to you if they aren't afraid you'll behead them. No more flaws in your doomsday device or world domination plan for heroes to exploit. Your minions notified you about the flaws before the launch. Another example, contagious disease is spreading in your kingdom. What did the medical professionals do? They're too scared of your dictatorial methods, they'll stay silent, allowing the situation to get out of control. Satan lists more situations where softer managerial approach can benefit a villain, and he also gives instructions on how to act more friendly, a skill that many villains tend to lack. Thanks for listening. See you all in hell. The crowd bursts out laughing and clapping, though you notice that some of the chuckles are somewhat awkward or forced. Apparently, not everyone is looking forward to being roasted in the eternal flames of hell. I mean, there is a reason for that, gang. In addition to vivid mental images of being tortured in hell, the lecture gave you some food for thought. What kind of managerial style should you go for? It's lunchtime. No one here. The lunch cafe, the solitude is very peaceful.
Great.
Oh, he has nothing else to do. I wish I could send him a little text instead. Nobody. Empty. Talk about fake redemptions is about to start. No villain wants to show weakness, but sometimes plans go awry. And the only way to avoid being locked away forever is to pretend to see the error of your ways. Thing is, no matter how much playing trade hurts your ego, when you find your opportunity to betray your new friends, it will blacken your reputation right back. It doesn't usually take much to convince heroes that a villain is trying to be better, as they want to see the best in everyone. But there's always the one who suspects. It is vital to identify and be wary of that one. After the break, we'll take a look at how to deal with them. See you soon. You wonder if you should return for part 2. Let's pester my favorite boy again.
Hello.
We might just only go to the conferences, I guess. Talk about fake redemptions, about to continue. Before the break, we discussed fake redemption, and As I mentioned, there's always one person who suspects you. There is nothing you can do to change the mind of that person, so don't waste your time on that. You might even taunt them, just to be careful. Not to give them anything that can be used as proof of your duplicity. Most of the failures of this tactic result from being overeager to get back to villainy. You need to bide your time and take every opportunity to gather intel. Never trust information coming from the one that suspects you. If they appear to slip something by accident, it's more likely they're trying to get you off track. You found yourself in some truly sticky situations in the past. You wonder how much grief this tactic could have saved you. About now. Lovely to see you again, he says. So flowers are just a hobby. What do you actually do for a living?
Oh,
For the living? Oh nay, I only care about the dead. Wouldn't do a thing for the living. Unless we're talking blood-sucking and such. I was asking about your mysterious real job. But yeah, you kind of just spilled the beans. I spilled something. How clumsy of me. But beans? I don't remember buying any. Why would I? Eating is simply a performance act for vampires. I would certainly choose something more glamorous than beans. Ignore the beans. So you're a vampire, huh?
indeed.
Indeed. I went full-time lately. I tried some human jobs in the past, but that stuff can burn you out pretty fast. No wonder humans are so miserable. I just hear a hint of sympathy towards humans in your voice. Oh nay, that is what my ex was into. Compassion. He trembles. Sympathy. He trembles even more, and you worry about the drink in his hand. I'm too evil a being for such frivolous matters. What do you usually drink? I recall correctly, I just told you I was a vampire. We drink blood. I was under the impression everyone knew that. Yeah, I know that. I mean, like alcohol. What are you drinking now? Oh, Bloody Mary. Is it any good? Decent. Would be better with actual blood, though. But I must say, the old tomato juice pretending to be blood trick. I cannot believe humans are excited about ordering a drink called Bloody Mary, but still get repulsed by my eating habits. I don't think they're that repulsed. Maybe, you know, they don't like being killed as you suck their veins dry, slipping on the fluid that literally keeps them alive. Felix stops to ponder for a while. Maybe. Who is this Mary, though? I've been wondering for years now. A terrific British bartender. World famous. Every time she prepares a drink, someone inevitably went, Bloody Mary, that's fantastic. Even when she started serving tomato juice with booze as a joke. You have no idea, really, but Felix seems satisfied with your answer. What a story. Sounds almost as if you had made it up. Well, I trust you. Your intelligence is ravishing, Kakarna. Thank you. I do not entirely hate talking to you, I must admit. I'm flattered, a 2,000-year-old powerful undead creature not hating me entirely. I must be doing something right. I need to get going. Farewell. Ooh, he texted me. So what, have you given any thought as to what you would wear on a goth-themed outing? I want to stand out. Be the gothiest goth of all the goths. That will be a sight to behold, I'm sure. Heart. He sent me a heart, that's so good.
How can I help you?
Oh, Mr. Skeleton, I guess you can't help me with nothing. Nobody there. We'll do another conference. Talk about life after being the heroes. About to start. You notice a sophisticated older woman from earlier sitting in one of the chairs. The seat next to her are suspiciously empty. I don't remember the voice for the old woman. I'll try my best. It is very common for people to reach their goals only to feel dissatisfied with the result. It could be that you killed your nemesis and now there is no challenge in your life. Or that you took over the kingdom, now you have to deal with all the paperwork associated with ruling. Fear not. Keep committing heinous acts and new heroes guarantee to appear to oppose you. Rule with an iron fist with no regard to the well-being of your people, and they're sure to eventually rebel. You're not quite at this stage of your career yet, but it's exciting to know that after you've reached your goals, you can always create more. After the break, we'll discuss the pitfalls of this method and how to avoid them. See you soon! You wonder if you should return for part 2. Maybe, unless Mr. Felix has something he'd like to say to me.
Hello.
Nope. I might cut out all the parts where I just randomly go back to him and he has nothing for me. It turned out so cute. I think next run through we might make a different character. We'll just make a different character for each playthrough, methinks. Talk about life after being the hero is about to continue. Welcome back. Before the break, we discussed methods to keep yourself active and attract new adversaries. The problem is that it can take a while, and boredom is sure to make you sloppy, making it all too easy for some prophesied prince to dethrone you. The answer is yes and mentality. Fucking improv time. You don't want to take over the kingdom. You want the kingdom, and you want to turn it into the largest, most evil empire in the universe. You don't just want to kill the hero. You also want to track down everyone who has ever been an acquaintance and kill them too. Ambition, my heinous friends, is the key. And I cannot overstate the importance of having goals for after you reach the one currently on your agenda. This talk keeps giving you food for thought. It's actually really fun to consider all the things you could aim for after reaching the goals you've set for yourself so far. The convention center is about to close for the day, but the night is young. Time to head to the nightclub. You spot a familiar silhouette from afar. Felix looks bored, so you decide to entertain him a little. Show me how you hunt. Hello to you too. What exactly do you mean? You've been telling me all about hunting for humans, but I've yet to see you in action. I can't wait until we go to your local goth clubs. Show me now. Felix looks around, squinting. I shall choose the target then. Let's say I'm the target. Of course. It was quite late in the world of mortals to practice sleeping. I'm afraid we do not have the time to go through the entire ordeal. What would you like to see the most? I can't imagine how one would go about biting someone without making it look really obvious and sketchy. Perhaps that is the reason why you had chosen a different line of work. It is all a matter of distracting your target properly. Just that? I don't believe you. He must have some secret tricks. Well, he sighs. I cannot hide anything from you, can I? You are correct. Before I share my secrets with you, you ought to promise you shall never reveal them to anyone else. Oh, come on, I promise. Just tell me already. Alright. See that thing over there? You look up at the ceiling where he seems to be pointing, but see nothing spectacular. See what? Before you realize, Felix's mouth is right behind your tightly stretched neck. He gives you a gentle nibble and whispers, like I said before, it is all a matter of distraction. Really? Just look over there. Bite. Once you're happy, the music is loud enough to cover your panting. There you go, Kukarna. Something along these lines. Does that answer your question? You nod your head as you try to hide a gasp for air. Splendid. Fourth day of the contention continues. Okay, so we are going to save here. So this ending part, it seems like it might be possible to get all of the endings if you save at a certain part and then just reload it. So we're gonna try to go for all the achievements. If anyone can. Excellent. Personal is empty. Let's talk to me. Come to the flower stand. Felix is talking to a customer. His face shows signs of slight confusion. They're holding a bunch of visibly rotten flowers and listening to Felix's passionate instructions. I cannot stress this enough. Do not forget to overwater the plants as per my detailed guidelines. The flowers shall keep their decaying aesthetic until they reach their final destination. It certainly strengthens the message. Salutations, Kukarna. Hi. That bouquet looked interesting.
Thank you.
Why, thank you. I allowed myself to experiment a little. What occasion was it for? I was under the impression that the message is rather self-evident. What do you think? I'd give someone a bunch of rotten flowers only under very specific circumstances. Is it a breakup okay? Oh, yes, you could say so. Splendid. I must have done a terrific job conveying the message. Subtle, yet effective. They were the ones who got left. Fresh wound. I would assume a maximum of 100 years after the breakup. Wow, the undead standards for a relationship really are long-term. Certainly so. Oh, I feel so drained. I already need a break. I'm drained of blood, naturally. That of individuals were rather talkative. I've spent the entire morning hearing about their newly ended relationship. It's almost as if I had gone through a separation myself. Would you say they were kind of an emotional vampire? like Colin Robinson. What an insult to actual vampires. That is what gives us such a bad name. I'm sure it's just that, and not, for example, your murderous appetite for human blood. And so we have reached the last day of a conference. It went by so fast. It feels like we only got here yesterday. Oh, trust me, it feels even shorter to those of us than entire eternity in prospect. Time flies when you're having fun, and when you're a vampire, apparently. How about you? Did you have a good time? It was my 1033rd conference, but I should admit it might have been the most memorable one so far. Yeah? Any new friends? Enemies? Felix gives you a bashful smile. Not too many, but some. My bouquet visits presents me with such a terrific excuse to simply hide behind my dearest flowers for hours, and limit my social interactions to the bare minimum. Are you saying your favorite part of the conference was avoiding to participate in it? I, for that matter, have enjoyed getting to know all the different creatures, including yourself. How flattering. I'm eager to share some more time with you before we say goodbye. I don't want to talk about that. I want to think about that. Goodbyes are difficult. You do not even know. Reminds me of a Shakespeare quote. Of course it does. Felix clears his throat and starts reciting with passion. And whether we shall meet again, I know not. Therefore our everlasting farewell take. Forever and forever farewell. If we do meet again, why, we shall smile. If not, why then, this parting was well made. Sounds like Shakespeare knew what he's talking about. He must have been a villain conference regular. I need to get going. Farewell. Nobody here. Nobody here. Nope. It's the last day of the conference. We hope you've had a fun and useful event. Now's a great time to make sure that all the loose ends are tied up. Remember, even if you run out of things to talk with somebody, they might want to talk to you more later on. I know this. Let's go to conference then. Disguises for every occasion. Talk about disguises is about to start. The man that walks on stage is wearing a trench coat, sunglasses, and a fake nose. Second-hand shame is unbearable. You see before you an extremely suspicious man. It's a classic bad disguise of any comedy. But would you say if I told you it does have its uses? It draws attention and mistrust like a magnet, but as long as your targets don't have a clue who is behind the suspense. But as long as your targets don't have a clue who is behind it, the suspense only rises over time. Revealed as a common surprise, but rather a culmination of pent-up tension. Speaker whips away the sad costume to reveal he is an alien? His wrinkled skin glistens wetly in the spotlight. Come back after the break for more decrepit duplicity and surprises. I wonder if you should return for part 2. If Felix doesn't have anything else to say, then yes. Talk about disguise is about to continue. You see a wet, glistening alien standing before you in a trench coat, sunglasses, and a fake nose on the floor. Before the break, we discussed the importance of suspense and the big reveal. Now, a truly good disguise is harder to pull off. In order to succeed, a villain has to fight their natural urge to take the center stage. Trying too hard can lead to repeating lines such as, I am an alien. I say, greetings, humans, all the time. Can you see how alien I am? My personal favorite, however, is the layered disguise. The alien pulls up his head, revealing a stern but beautiful face topped by hair made out of writhing snakes. For solving the mystery of the obvious costume, people are less likely to pay attention to tells that the person is still not presenting themselves. It can be incredibly satisfying to have so many layers of costumes that you're never in danger of being truly revealed. And even if you are, nobody will trust you to really be you and not somebody else pretending to be you. You're starting to think that specializing in disguises would be an incredibly fun route to take your career. It would be. That would be rad as shit. Still nothing, so we will peek around once again. Another conference. Talk about political correctness is about to start. You see the sophisticated older lady from earlier sitting in one of the chairs. The seats next to her are suspiciously empty. I live in fear of this. The trick I'm going to talk about today is the most useful for authority figures who are not openly villains, but it can be used by anyone to sow chaos and discord. Now, is there something in the public discourse that's harmful to you or your ideology, or just something that you find mildly annoying? New legislation coming along that would help regular people? Political correctness. Something in favor of any minority? Political correctness. Popular opinion shifting in a way that could lead you to be forced out of your evil business? You guessed it, political correctness. The trick is to equate the thing you oppose to something outlandish, call it political correctness, and to assert it would lead to some form of tyranny. Is there some urban myth everyone has heard of that might sound somewhat similar while being obviously unacceptable? Or is there some controversial topic that you could blow completely out of proportion to suit your needs? You contemplate times in your past when using this strategy could have made your life a lot simpler. At least in the future, you will be better prepared. Let us check again, and if not, let's just go have lunch. Ooh, maybe he's at the cafe. It's lunchtime. Damn it. Lunch cafe, solitude is very peaceful.
Lovely to see you again.
Jinx. Okay, let's save in case this is the thing. I would like to assist me with the bouquets again. How kind of you.
And the next bouquet.
More on the target and assassination. Let's see. Cactus. Corpse flower. Fortune. Someone's blood will be on my hands. Lovely. Is it good?
Very good.
It's not perfect. It's rusted very well. Great work. Great. I may have got someone killed. Ha. Lovely.
And the next bouquet.
Graduating from university. So you need warmth. This is not gonna be good. Red carnation is fried. As in, I'm proud of you for graduating.
Very good.
Not perfect, fits request very well though. Oh, fine.
the next bouquet?
Powerful evil wizards gain the means to become a lich. Powerful undead creatures for us takes some time. Okay, so we will have Viola. Let's see. Pink tulip. Let's see. There's a forget-me-not. And let's see, red for... Oh, hell, let's do the white one. That might work better. Actually...
Wonderful.
All the flowers in this bouquet suit the request. Wonderful. Okay. So if nothing else, this tutorial, you've learned how to make the lich bouquet. Thank you, Kakarna. I enjoy seeing the bouquets you create. A person who assembles a bouquet reveals a lot about their personality. We're talking about memes. Hey, Kakarna, I need your help. I'm embarrassed to ask, but I've decided to trust you with my secret. No worries, I'll take it to the grave with me. Felix gives you a look. What do you need help with? The website's etiquette and... memes. Memes? The bewildering internet images. You mean memes? Memes. Felix repeats the word under his breath a few times. Daria has been transferring those memes to me via text messages. I'm troubled, as it occurs to me it's too late now to admit to her that I do not understand the meaning behind them. It's hard to take this conversation seriously, but you keep trying. It's like an old man. Okay, but wait. What are you responding with? I've learned that it is in good taste to respond with a small human facial expression imagery. Emoji. Yes, emoji. I usually send one of those. Felix takes out his phone and clumsily shows you the crying face emoji. You realize this one means you're crying.
Indeed.
Indeed. I use it to indicate that I am in tears from laughter. There's a different one for that. Never mind. Sometimes I type ha 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 with an exclamation mark. That's very good. What do you need help with? Memes. Can you explain memes to me? Oh boy, you sure can try. Just think of memes as a whole new language. I'm a foreign languages enthusiast. Where do I purchase a meme dictionary? See, it's not that simple. What makes a meme is that it's constantly evolving, spreading around, getting its meaning remixed and changed. I'm not particularly fond of change. You don't say. Could you present me with a case study? Let's think of something you could relate to. There's a whole bunch of memes about death. Oh? More specifically, human mortals seem to be feeling dead inside all the time, and they laugh about it on the internet. So they feel dead already, despite existing. That is indeed something I might be able to relate to. Precisely. I guess they call it depression. That is a hopeful idea. Perhaps memes are the closest I've led to experiencing mortality. Weird flex, but okay. At least Felix seems happy about your meaningful moment. You observe the way Felix composes a bouquet. His hands move swiftly from one bucket to another, picking out the flowers with just the right meaning requested by his customer. It looks effortless, and he doesn't even stop to look at his notes even once. Voila! As per your request, here's a bouquet that roughly translates to Congratulations on spawning little X, Ash, age 12. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think that's how you... I don't fucking know how you say that letter. Have a wonderful day. How do you manage to remember all of this? That is my job. I don't just mean the flower meanings. Memory sometimes play tricks on you. You've been around for so long. Okay, you cannot even fathom how often. I find myself in sheer panic whenever I stroll past a parking lot. where did I leave my car? And where did I put my car keys? That is until I realized I do not own a car, nor would I be skilled enough to ever drive one. My memories get blurry too. More and more so with each passing century. That happens to me too. Oh, does it? I've found writing in my diaries to be quite a convenient way of capturing memories. That is until my current apartment gets filled up with old notebooks and I have to search for another dwelling. What do you do to preserve your memories? I take a lot of selfies, I guess. Selfies. I've heard about this craft from Daria, but have yet to master it myself. I can teach you. Should we take one right now? This is solely why I picked this one, because I wanted to see if you'd take a selfie with me. You start fiddling with your phone and feel a cold arm land on top of yours in a gentle embrace, similar to the one you'd give your aunt while posing for a family photo. Felix squints his eyes in concentration, taking the task very seriously. The selfie that commemorates the moment ends up very blurry. You're not sure whether drinking too much coffee in the conference break room is the only reason behind your shaky hands. The bad pharma marketing representatives approach Felix's booth and hand him a sample of evil nasal spray. Felix appears to have disappeared into his thoughts. He absent-mindedly starts spraying his flowers with nasal spray into the water. Bloody no. Before he manages to say anything, he sighs loudly. Sometimes I ponder upon destroying all of my diaries, starting over with a clean slate, or shall I say, an empty page. That's quite dramatic.
Perhaps.
Perhaps, but do you not wish you could forget about certain things that have happened, Karna? Maybe the day Beelzebub died, my dog. But wouldn't that mean having you forget about him entirely? Forget all the evil times we had together? Like when I taught him to pickpocket rich people's wallets or to bark when someone played country music? God, that dog was fucking awesome. R.I.P. Beelzebub. I wouldn't want to forget that. Felix scratches the back of his head in a surprisingly human fashion. That is not a bad way to look at that at all. Perhaps remembering my relationship with Arthur isn't the worst thing that has happened to me. Although I do not think I will ever relish the memories of the various charity concerts he had coerced me to attend. Did working on that breakup bouquet remind you of Arthur? Okay, this could be the thing, so I keep saving, I'm sorry. We might cut out the saves. Did working on that breakup bouquet remind you of Arthur? Oh, indeed. The piece was in fact largely inspired by the brief period after our breakup. A mere 5 decades or so, during which I had sent him an intricate composition of rotten flowers every year. Huh? To commemorate our breakup and make him regret everything he had lost, of course. I've been told the effect it might have had on him was quite the opposite of regret, for reasons I fail to understand. You're so clingy, sir. But at least it served as a terrific outlet for processing my emotions, and I did not have to worry about how to dispose the bio-waste from my floral business. Not the most traditional coping mechanism. Phew. How do you deal with relationships ending? I became a living cliche and watched romantic comedies on repeat for days. Oh, I see. Because you want to continue believing in true love despite your own misery. What? No way. Rom-coms are the pinnacle of the world's evil. They cheer me up in difficult times like nothing else. I can rest assured that humans are sabotaging themselves all the time, even when I'm on a break from contributing evil to the world. Do let me know if you ever need to add an exquisite rotten bouquet to that, please. There was no floral challenge that could possibly scare me.
Oh.
Except perhaps if you asked me to create a composition out of garlic flowers. I can tell you're the real expert on making your ex miserable. Oh, I'm way past that point already. In fact, yesterday, I sent Arthur a short digital letter through the short message service. So, are you trying to say you texted him? I did indeed text him. It was very difficult at first. I get it, all the history you two share. I never know what to say to people from my past. Oh, nay, I'm simply referring to technical difficulties. As it turns out, my phone is not possessed by demons or infected with a virus. I had simply been struggling with something Daria claims to be called autocorrect. years. Bro. The gesture itself felt effortless. Our relationship had been on my mind a lot these last few days. Hundreds of years have passed already. Perhaps we are ready to be each other's lives again. Did he reply? What was his reaction to hearing from someone who'd sent him some unusual gifts a while back?
Oh.
He seemed content to receive my message. At one point, he even responded with a gift of a rotting flower. I decided to interpret that as an offering of friendship. Of course, Felix would pronounce it as Jif. I can't say it as Jif. I can't make myself do it. It's not the peanut butter. Our exchange once again confronted me with how different our worldviews are. Arthur invited me to go donate blood with him next weekend. You frown in confusion.
Oh, dear.
Not my own blood. Vampire bodies do not have that, remember? The blood I store in my fridge. I politely declined. If I'm to share my food with anyone, I definitely need a more compelling reason than... He shudders. Saving human lives, or whatever Arthur and his charity are up to. Regardless, it was good to talk to him. Perhaps it's time to write an epilogue to that story. Perhaps it's even the time to put that book down on the shelf. In other words, I've realized I might be ready to start pursuing romantic endeavors again. I'm gonna start dating again? Exciting!
Oh.
If exciting you mean utterly terrifying, then you might be right. You were distracted by a strange yet mesmerizing sound behind your back. A group of sirens swift past you, vocalizing in harmonies. They seem to be practicing their famous repertoire of sea chants. You're starting to understand how it's possible for them to have such high rates of success when it comes to seducing and murdering unaware sailors. Admiral business strategies. One of the sirens gives you a wink in passing. There are so many hot villains here, right? Hot villains? I only recall Lucifer being so, and perhaps Lily of the Succubus? The rest of the crowd seems to be a regular body temperature. I mean hot as in, attractive. Oh yes, I suppose so. Although I seem to be unable to feel attracted to anyone unless we share an intellectual connection. Daria taught me a name for that, but I forget. All I'm saying is, I am more into mind rather than mortal form. So you're into brains, and here I thought you were a vampire, not a zombie. What is your type, then? How vampire of you to ask? Trust me, I was able to sniff out your blood type the second you approached me. I tend to steer away from anyone whose blood type is... Felix crunches his nose, as if he had just opened Tupperware that sat in the fridge for 2 months. Positive. Cheer up, you look so much better with a smile. You should try doing yoga. Ugh. The positive types can be quite depleting to be around, and I cannot even turn them into a good meal. They simply leave a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not one of those with a sweet fang. So why do you want to know about my type?
Oh!
I'm merely curious about your possible romantic endeavors, that is all. I can't seem to meet anyone interesting. All my recent dates have been so boring. I would have had more fun conversing with a bag of frozen peas. It can be tiring to come up with so many topics to talk about.
Indeed.
Indeed, if only someone could devise a list of things to talk about that we could simply choose from. I wonder whether Hinder works in the pocket dimension. GPS must act wild out here. Wanna take a look? Wait a second, what is this Hinder you talk about? Hinder, the best dating app designed specifically with villains in mind. The only dating app designed specifically with villains in mind. Sounds horrible, I am in. Take out your phone and open the Hinder. Felix cracks his knuckles and pulls up his sleeves. How do I play? It's not some dating game. Who even play those? Me. It's me. Hinder lets you meet others. These are all the real nearby villains who have spent hours meticulously crafting their bios and choosing the most appealing pictures. I mean, that's just a wild guess. It's not like what I did with my profile. Haha. Two of you start sleeping on all the villains who appear to be within 150 light years from the conference center. You can tell Felix is hesitant. The decision-making process seems far too rushed for me. How am I supposed to form any kind of judgment about those creatures with such a perfunctory description? And why are so many of them holding a fish? Why are they, Felix? Why are they? After a while and a few more confused questions, Felix suddenly seems to be enjoying himself. This one particularly interests me. Magnificent long neck, and easy access to the common carotid artery, rosy cheeks, I would assume their blood pressure is on the correct levels, a healthy skin, they must be full of nutritions. I wonder whether I could use this invention for business purposes. You wonder whether your perfect match might be somewhere in the conference center right now. What would you say is the key to a happy relationship?
Oh.
Pardon me, Kokara. I'm baffled as to why you request my expertise on those matters. Well, you've dated someone for a few hundred years. That's more than most relationships I've ever heard of, or been in. So do you desire to build a relationship that lasts for hundreds of years? I would say the first step you have to take is make sure you and whoever else is involved will remain alive for that long. I cannot even count the times I've found myself falling for a mortal. There's something undeniably tempting about mortals, and it's not just me alone. It grew to be almost an inside joke among the immortal community. Truly a tragic scenario. You can probably imagine what it feels like to begin to love someone and constantly think about how they will eventually die in your arms. Exactly how I feel each time I come home with a new houseplant. With all due respect and my endless undying love for plants, it might not be a direct parallel, Kokarna. But anyhow, apart from making sure you and your darlings forever after is of a similar length, I would say it is all about work, and I do not mean doing business together, or even having a similar job title, although my experience shows it is helpful to have at least some shared morals, and an aligned unethical code. A lot of work sounds like a lot of work. What would you say is the key to a successful relationship, then? Hating the same things is certainly a strong foundation. Nothing makes me feel closer to someone than hate watching a reality TV show together. The rest is just secondary details. After spending a vast chunk of eternity with someone who hated what I loved and vice versa, I could not agree more. But all in all, I don't think you can just make a relationship work while following a simple recipe. If that's the case, I'm absolutely doomed. No matter how many times I try, I can't even follow a recipe well enough to make my sourdough bread rise properly. Well, I sure do hope you get to what you're looking for, Kokarna. Is there something you miss about being human, apart from sleeping? A number of things. Earlier today, I was pondering about how much I miss being able to give myself motivational speeches in the bathroom mirror. The purpose gets a tad bit lost when you cannot see your own reflection. I'm trying to find a good replacement for years. One time I hired an incredibly talented impersonator to stand in front of me and mimic all of my movements. It worked surprisingly well. All too well. She was better at being me than I could ever be. It really made my imposter syndrome flare up. I had to make do with this. He reaches across his jacket and you can hear a rustling inside his pocket. You wonder what kind of weird stuff he must be carrying around there. But then again, who are you to judge? His hand finally emerges out of the pocket, holding a small mirror with a wrinkled piece of paper taped over it. Another pair of eyes stares at you from the hastily sketched self-portrait. Does that, help with your motivational speeches? Not quite. Perhaps there's a reason why I've been so unmotivated lately. Another thing I miss about being human is having far less time to postpone everything. I can imagine procrastination can get out of hand when you have an eternity to fool yourself with. But there are certainly things I would miss about being a vampire, like the first cup of blood in the morning, and the fact that the morning becomes an abstract concept if you do not have to conform to the mortal sleeping schedule. I know you didn't choose this life, but I guess there are some who actively seek to be turned. Who can get turned into a vampire? Are there any special requirements? Technically, anyone could become one, but we are known to be very selective about who we let in. We can't let any old buffoon join us, you understand. Is there some kind of vampire recruitment office, then? If your intentions are purely business-oriented, then yes, there is one. Queues are absurd, and the selection process is wearisome. But I've encountered a few daredevils who have completed it. I mean, only one of them had devilish ancestry. But for me, being a vampire is a lifestyle, not just a mere career choice. Maybe my romantic approach is a tad outdated, but I cannot help it. I cannot turn anyone unless I felt very close to them. He gives you a prolonged look. Very, very close. As time goes by, the crowd around you starts shrinking, the conference center gets quieter and quieter. Felix glances around and remains with his flowers. I'm beginning to suspect there will only be a few more orders this year. I could start disassembling my stand soon. Before I do, I've decided who you want to make a bouquet for. It's a secret, you'll see soon enough. Oh my, how mysterious. Okay. Alright, let's try first one.
And the next bouquet.
Okay. Medicine to the burn. Nightshade. Good old corpse flower, you need it. Let's just get the cactus. I'm gonna frown because it's the most boring.
Very good.
Even though this bouquet is not perfect, it fits their quest very well. Great work.
And the next bouquet.
A friend of mine had an amorous night with a newly found beau. When she tried to contact the beau a few days later, she found him with no answer. She wished to inform the man that she did not find their night together satisfactory. Oh. This might be fun. Shoot. Let's see. Pain. Carnation. Put a forget-me-not in there. Let's put a toxic in there.
Wonderful.
All the flowers in this bouquet suit the request. Wonderful. Excellent. Remember to do this then.
And the next bouquet.
Okay, for your most sworn enemy. Actually, let's get rid of that. outside the old burning hell.
Very
Even
good.
though this bouquet is not perfect, it fits your closet very well. Great work.
And the next bouquet.
Ooh, okay, let's make him a bouquet. I think the first one I want to do... Okay.
Thank you.
Why, thank you, Kakarna. That is a very serious message. Are you aware of what you just asked me? I'm fully aware of what I just said. I've given it enough thought, and I'd like to be turned into a vampire. Specifically by you. What I'm saying is, I can't wait for you to bite me. Felix gives you his brightest smile yet, out of all the 5 times you've seen him smile at all. This is just splendid. Oh, bloody, I've not felt this excited since the first Batman comic book came out. That is, before I discovered they actually had nothing to do with vampires. Appropriation of bats, that's what it is. But that does not matter now. Oh, Kakarna, I would be honored. Need to get going. Farewell. Okay. Conference Center is almost entirely empty now, and they said it's possible to make all evil disappear in one day. You've been wandering around the desolated lobby for a while now, waiting for Felix, who told you he'd be there in a split second. You already suspect you might have to adjust the vampire measurement of time, which might get easier once you become one as well. Finally, you spot an familiar figure hurrying down the stairs, the vintage robes trailing majestically behind him. Thank you for waiting for me. Much obliged. It's against all vampire conduct to leave without proper goodbye. I could never forgive myself. You stand still in front of each other for a moment, not knowing how to interact without a flower stand counter separating you. Finally, Felix leads toward you. He immediately finds the most sensitive spot on your neck and strokes it gently. His touch sends a shiver down your spine. Is that where you will bite me eventually? If that is what you wish for, I'm looking forward to it. Felix smiles at you gently, and you scramble to think of something to say before you melt under his gaze. Anyway, too bad we'll miss out on the castle's elaborate mazes. Modern vampires have it tough. Well, who knows? Maybe they will be back in fashion eventually. Stranger things have happened in the history of Earth. You doubt it's just a matter of fashion and not politics, modern development, and the cost of building a castle, but maybe Felix is right. I'm looking forward to society's inevitable collapse. Seems like a great chance to go back to the Middle Ages. I must admit, I would miss some of the modern luxuries, books most of all. Do you know how expensive it was to purchase a tome? Trying to find something that wasn't about religion. What a nightmare. Fair point. Conversation dies down. The two of you spend a moment of uncertainty and silence. I suppose it's time to say goodbye. Well, yeah, I guess so. I don't really want to, though. Then how about I see you soon? You are welcome to visit me anytime. That does sound better, but I think I'll still miss you. We will have more than enough time to spend together once you enter the realm of immortality. Perhaps you will even get bored of me. I think I'd prefer that if the other option was not seeing you. You said I could visit you anytime, right?
Indeed.
Yes, that is what I said. How about tomorrow then? Felix chuckles. Mortals are so impatient, but yes, I would like that very much. Two of you walk to the portals and go your separate ways. Rather than feel sad, you feel excited about tomorrow. You go through the process, which involves a surprisingly large amount of paperwork, and you are accepted as part of the coven. Luckily, you already have the best vampire tutor you could ask for. Surprisingly, flipping your night-day schedule is easy when you don't have to worry about sleeping. With Felix by your side, you start your new on life together. You don't know if it'll last forever, but it's pretty cool to know that it's at least a possibility.
And the
Here's
next
the most
bouquet.
important one. just my favorites, that's why I keep putting them.
Thank you.
Why, thank you, Kakarna. I am flattered. Are you aware of what this combination of flowers even means? Yeah, I've been trying to flirt with you for the past few days, but it seems to go over your head, so I thought I'd be a bit more direct. What do you mean? Oh, Felix, really? It's my way of saying I'm into you, oblivious dork.
Oh, dear.
Felix gasps in shock, his fangs flashing. He fondles the bouquet you just gave him and avoids eye contact. Kakarna, I feel the same way about you. It's been a century since I've met someone I could stand for more than 5 minutes, let alone someone I could actually enjoy spending those minutes with. Let's talk more about this after the conference. I have to clean up my stand. I need to get going. Farewell. The conference center is almost entirely empty now, and they'd say it's impossible to make all evil disappear in one day. Wandering desolated the lobby for some time now, waiting for Felix, who told you he'd be there in a split second. You already suspect you might have to adjust to vampire measurements of time. Finally, you spot a now familiar figure hurrying down the stairs, the vintage robes trailing majestically behind him. Thank you for waiting for me, much obliged. It is against all vampire conduct to leave without a proper goodbye. I could never forgive myself. You stand still in front of each other for a moment, not knowing how to interact without a flower stand counter separating you. Finally, Felix leans towards you. He reaches out a hand for what seems like an embrace, only to take off your conference badge. May I save it? Sure, but why? It is a memory of how we met. I'm saving it for our relationship scrapbook, of course. Is that one of your hobbies too? It suits you.
Oh.
Not yet, but I decided to give it a try. I do not wish to forget our time together. With Felix's memory, that's probably a smart idea. Not that you'd say that out loud. How romantic. Well, yes, I must admit, I can be rather sappy at times. I hope that is not a quality you detest. Nah, we can be sappy together. Wonderful. Kakarna, would you like to visit my residence for dinner? As long as I'm not the dinner, sure.
Oh, dear.
Dear, that is not what I meant. My apologies. Relax, I'm kidding. Dinner sounds great.
Oh.
I would cook for you myself, but it has been a while. I think it was in the 19th century when I had my cuisine phase. In hindsight, it was not the greatest pastime for someone like me. One of my guests ended up hospitalized. Apparently, when the recipe says some chili, it means a spoonful, not a cupful. Who would have known? Or perhaps we should stick to just wine after all.
Oh.
I have a bottle of port from 1896. Good year from what I've heard. Sounds like a date. Excellent. How about tomorrow then? Felix chuckles. Mortals are so impatient, but yes, I would like that very much. Two of you go to the portals and go your separate ways, but rather than sad, you feel excited about tomorrow. Felix's scrapbook starts filling up pretty fast with all the time you spent together. He's especially excited about the wrappers for the chocolates he bought you. Dating a vampire has its benefits. When you wake up, he's already pouring you a cup of coffee. You don't have the heart to tell him how bitter it tastes. Maybe someday. So far, I'm liking the vampire ending best. But we have 2 more to go through.
Next bouquet.
Okay, so...
Thank you.
Why, thank you, Kakarna. That is very blunt of you. Do you know how straightforward the message of your bouquet is? Wink. You gave Felix a wink. Are you alright? Is there something in your eye? Perhaps you are allergic to one of the bouquet's components. Oh my own god. I'm very much alright, fully aware of the bouquet's message. That is how I feel and what I want. I'm talking biting, sucking, flushed cheeks, none of which have anything to do with you being a vampire.
Oh!
Felix gasps excitedly and bites one of the flowers you just gave him, his fangs flashing. Oh, Kukarna, I'm certain that can be arranged. I need to get going. Farewell. Conference center is almost entirely empty now, and they said it's possible to make all evil disappear in one day. If you're wandering on the desolated lobby for a while waiting for Felix, who told you he'd be there in a split second, you already suspect you have to adjust the vampire measurement of time. Finally, you spot a now familiar figure hurrying down the stairs, the vintage robes trailing majestically behind him.
Thank you.
Thank you for waiting for me. Much obliged. It is against all vampire conduct to leave without a proper goodbye. I could never forgive myself. You stand still in front of each other for a moment, not knowing how to interact without a flower stand the counter separating you. Finally, Felix leads towards you. As you might have heard, vampires do not come in without an invitation. Kukarna, may I kiss you? You grasp his perfectly ironed collar and pull him closer. Discover this whole new level of awkwardness and bumping your teeth with someone who has prominent fangs. As Felix pulls away, he glances around. The few people still left in the conference area seem to disapprove your public display of affection, judging from their expressions.
Oh,
It seems like I've caused a bit of a scene. Hey now, don't claim all of the credit. It takes two to tango. Tango? I don't see how it's related to the current situation, apart from being a rather passionate dance. You can't help but to marvel at his cluelessness sometimes. A lot of times, actually. I'm kidding, of course. I'm not that senile. I have to admit, such amorous actions would be rather strange things to do without a partner. Seems like something the mad scientists would do. You know, make out with a body pillow or something. He would. He's a fucking creep. I haven't gotten into him yet, but you will see what a fucking creep he is when I get to the Nova section. Ugh. Well, I'm glad I do not have to resort to such desperate measures, assuming you are still interested in associating with me. Obviously, but I think we need to go associate somewhere else before they kick us out of here. The hall is empty apart from the guard who's eyeing the two of you sharply. Oh my, how the time flies. Come on, Kukarna, we must flee. Felix grabs your hand and the two of you make a dash for the portal. The guard looks at the two of you in a mixture of bafflement and disapproval as you pass them. My place or yours? Felix glances at you with ravenous eyes. Whichever is closest. You end up going to Felix's place. He wasn't lying when he said it was just an apartment, a decent-sized one filled with antique furniture and art decorated with different shades of black. Over the next few nights, you get very familiar with the apartment, and its owner, of course. You to quote Twilight, Felix really does look like a classical marble statue with his bare pale skin and old-timey surroundings. But his skin is soft to the touch and his grasp gentle, and he doesn't sparkle. I'm glad he doesn't sparkle. That would be weird. Okay, we have one last ending.
and the next bouquet.
Makes it pop.
Thank
Why,
you.
thank you, Kukarna. That's very kind of you. Just to make sure we are on the same page, do you know what this bouquet means? Yeah, I like talking to you these past few days. I tried really hard to remember which flowers symbolize friendship. Your stand seems to be full of the ones that talk about romantic love, so I had to be careful. Would have been so awkward if I expressed something ridiculous by accident.
Oh.
Indeed, extremely gauche. I do want to be friends with you. We should totally hang out soon, grab a bite or something. Not that kind of bite, though. You can tell me about all the dates you go on. Felix hides his face behind the bouquet you just gave him. Can't help but feel like he's also trying to hide some feelings. Oh, I broke his heart. I'm sorry I made this the last ending, buddy. I need to get going. Farewell. Conference Center is almost entirely empty now, and they said it's impossible to make all evil disappear in one day. You've been wandering around the desolated lobby for a little while now, waiting for Felix, who told you you'd be there in a split second. You already suspect that you might have to adjust the vampire measurements of time. Finally, you spot a now familiar figure carrying down the stairs, the vintage robes trailing majestically behind him.
Thank you.
Thank you for waiting for me. Much obliged. It is against all vampire conduct to leave without a proper goodbye. I could never forgive myself. You stand still in front of each other for a moment, not knowing how to interact without a flower stand counter separating you. Finally, Felix leans towards you. Looks like he's going in for a hug, so you reach your arms out.
Oh.
Felix hesitates, and you end up gesturing each other awkwardly for a moment, which probably looks like a weird mating dance. Finally, you settle for a fist bump. I guess it's time to say goodbye. Yes, for now, but this is surely not the last time we'll see each other. Haha, you keep raising death flags like that, it might be. Jeez. Flags. I hate to disappoint you, but I don't own any. That's not, never mind. But hey, what about a rainbow flag? You're not exactly straight, and it would be fun nod to your original last name. I don't remember what his original last name is. I would say it is not a bad idea, but such a colorful item would clash with my decor, which of course is unacceptable. Speaking of aesthetics, when are we gonna go visit a golf club? Whenever it suits your schedule, I am always ready for a hunt. Awesome, I'll text you when I'm available. It'll be so much fun. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Contrary to Felix's words, his smile is bittersweet. You wonder if he was expecting something different from your relationship. Damn it, I broke his heart. I don't know what to. I think I like the vampire ending best. Are you okay?
Oh.
My apologies. Did I seem distracted? I'm fine. It's been a while since I made a new friend. There's quite a lot to process. That's understandable. I think I shall go home now and enjoy some peace and quiet. I'll keep an eye out for your message, even if it means having to keep using that cursed machine. Thanks for making that noble sacrifice for me. Felix chuckles, and this time it sounds more genuine. Farewell, Kakarna. It was a great pleasure. We play some trading cards. Over time, Felix introduces you to some of his hobbies. You're especially impressed by his Magic the Withering card collection and his shelf full of rare and obscure vinyl records. You spend a lot of time coming up with evil schemes and designing deadly mages. When it comes to villainous friendship, it doesn't get much better than this. Okay, so this was really fun, and it was really cute, and I adore Felix. Next time I play, maybe with some different dialogue options, I'm definitely going for the vampire ending again. That was by far my favorite. The friendship ending is cute, but it makes me sad because he hadn't been interested in someone for so long, and then someone comes along and it's just like, nah, you're cool though. Which, to be fair, you don't necessarily have to always expect every relationship to turn out romantic, but it made me sad to see him sad, and yeah. So thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed my playthrough, if you enjoyed the game so far, feel free to hit the old like and subscribe buttons. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.